Well, we're getting into the debrief now. Israeli and Hamas officials holding indirect talks at an Egyptian resort today to discuss a U.S. peace plan brokered by President Trump. Under this plan, Hamas would release the remaining 48 hostages, 20 of who are believed to be alive. It would also give up power in Gaza and be disarmed. The talks come as we are set to mark 2 years since the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack that sparked the war with Israel.
Fox 8's Linda Schmidt joins us now. So, Linda, who is involved in these peace talks and how long is it expected to last?
Well, first, Egypt is the host here. So you have mediators from Egypt as well as mediators from Qatar. They're handling the initial phase of this. And what they're talking to the delegation from Hamas, and then they're talking, of course, to the delegation from Israel. And then at some point in the very near future, because this is not supposed to take weeks here, in the very near future, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff will get involved, as well as President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And the president has already said, and he said this last week, we're not dragging this out. This is not going to take weeks. This is something that needs to take just a few days, and we then have to have Hamas agree to this peace deal.
You mentioned President Trump speaking about this. Was there anything that stood out to you, especially when him speaking on this subject?
Yeah, well, today he was having a separate event at the White House, and of course he was asked by a journalist there about the topic, and he said again that he feels confident that the deal is going to go through. He feels that we're in the best position now ever in history to be able to work out a peace deal, not just for Hamas and Israel, but throughout the Middle East.
Sure.
And in addition to that, he pointed to the fact that every European leader is signed on to this, and every leader in the Middle East. The only one that hasn't spoken out publicly in support of it yet is Iran. But Iran funds Hamas.
Yeah.
So Iran has been funding this war.
What makes this even more emotional is that tomorrow is going to mark 2 years of the October 7th anniversary. And we all want peace, and we've been here many times before.
That's
what
right.
could be the potential roadblocks to peace deal this time?
Well, you know, you got the 48 hostages that are still there, the remaining. 20 of them are believed to be alive. And Hamas was saying over the weekend, and I think they said this on Friday as well, that they don't know if they're going to be able to get to the bodies quickly because the bodies are under rubble. Now, is this a stalling tactic by Hamas? Who knows? But of course, that's what everyone involved is thinking could be a possibility here. In addition to that, Israeli forces, as part of this deal, they will be pulling out of Gaza, but not entirely. So Hamas has said, I'm going to put my glasses on here, Hamas has said that it will release the remaining hostages if Israel withdraws and, quote, proper field conditions are met. So what are those proper field conditions? We don't know because we're not involved with the negotiations, but obviously it has to do with the number of Israeli soldiers that are going to remain in Gaza. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out.
All right, Linda, well, we certainly appreciate that. The world watches in anticipation to see how this whole thing plays out.
Hopefully there is a deal.
Yeah, we hope. All right. Thanks, Linda.